If we join in with air support, doesn't that trigger other nations that support Iran to come in with their own support, triggering World War III?
No, I actually think that at this point, the Chinese and the Russians, who are the big backers of Iran, have basically calculated that actually an American war in the Middle East is in their best interest. The Russians, in particular, need America distracted and bogged down out of Europe, and that is precisely what an Iran war would allow for. Furthermore, this instability over time is spiking the price of oil and natural gas on the global market. Russia is a major producer of those two commodities. Their economy needs relatively higher global prices to feed their economy and their war machine. So, actually, this works to the benefit of Russia. China, while yes, they require a lot of Iran's natural gas and oil for their own economy, and losing that will hurt them, they are also not entirely dependent on Iran for energy. What's more, this will allow for the Americans to be bogged down in the Middle East, giving a strategic window of opportunity to the Chinese military for them to do something either against Taiwan or against the Philippines or even against Japan in the East China Sea. So actually, Iran cannot expect its allies to do much. They won't. And ultimately, regime change, while it sounds very good, and I think the Shah's son is the best bet we have no idea about the level of support the Shah's son really enjoys within Iran. And that's the big kicker. And furthermore, I don't think we want to be in the business of picking the next round of leaders for any Middle East country, given our track record.
Track record in the trash can, and in the words of one of my favorite Instagrammers, "a la poubelle," which is French for in the trash. So Brandon, let's talk about it. If they're not going to support Iran, then is it in Iran's best interest to do what President Trump has yelled, screamed, and posted on True Social about, which is just give in, give up the nuclear program? Could that happen? If a lot of their leaders have been killed, I mean, it's been pretty brutal.
Well, anything is possible. What I've learned with Trump is you should never underestimate the man. But at the same time, we're talking about the forces of history here. The Iranian regime, their entire legitimacy rests on the notion that they are the leaders of the axis of resistance against the U.S. and Israel. What Trump and the Israelis are doing right now is eviscerating that image. They cannot be seen as negotiating at this point in good faith with the Americans. And to be fair, Donald Trump, we now know, used the original negotiations not as a serious attempt at peace, but as a ruse to lull the Iranians into a false sense of security, allowing for the Israelis to have a window of opportunity to strike Iran. So, really, the Iranians have no capability or interest, I think, in honestly negotiating. Why would they at this point?
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.